Hey, sixth graders, welcome to online sixth grade literature. We're going to continue reading To Kill a Mockingbird like we were before spring break. We're going to try to use the exact same format of a reading assignment with a study guide and then some discussion in class. The study guides will be due. We'll practice our vocabulary context sentences and try to continue just as normal as we can and get as far as the book as we can before we come back. As your parents have seen in an email from me, literature is taught on a green day for the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. That technically means that the study guide that you have from before spring break over chapters 16 through 17 is going to be due on Friday. So if you can take a picture of that or scan it and email that to me, I can keep track of those grades and scores, and you can have a better idea of how things are going. You should already be done with chapters 16 and 17 and the study guides to go along with it. We'll just chit-chat a little bit today about some questions or ideas that you can think about as you're finishing up your study guide. You may have noticed that while we're in the thick of the trial, some subtle changes have come over Atticus as this trial's coming along. Atticus has the weight of at least Macomb County on his shoulders, and everybody notices it. As the children are going to the trial, the first thing they notice is the entire community has gone to the courthouse and everyone's out. It's a circus going on. Everyone is there. There's a person named Dolphus Raymond who is kind of a new character for us, and Dolphus Raymond hangs out with the African-American side of town, even though he's a white man. And this confuses the kids a little bit because Dolphus Raymond has mixed children. They're both African-American and white, so they don't seem to fit anywhere. We've talked about how there's definitely a white side of Macomb and there's an African-American side of Macomb, and other than the kids going to First Purchase and Calpurnia being able to move between those two communities, there's not a lot of mixing, and now we have mixed children who don't fit in anywhere. In the trial, it's standing room only. The children end up in the second balcony of the courthouse, and Reverend Sykes does something interesting to help the children see and hear the trial. And what does that say about Reverend Sykes? What does that say about his view of the children? Are you noticing that the children are absolutely welcome with the rest of the people up in the balcony, especially with Reverend Sykes? As the children are watching the trial in chapter 16, they seem to watch Judge Taylor. My question for you is, does Judge Taylor take the trial seriously? It kind of looks like he's sleeping throughout the trial, but is he actually taking it seriously? In chapter 17, we start getting to witnesses and their testimonies and the evidence they're giving. Hecate is one of the first ones. What are the main points of Hecate's testimony as he goes over the evidence that he's gathered? How does that help Tom Robinson? Does it hurt Tom Robinson? He also gives us a little bit of information about the Ewell family. What is their family life like? How do the children behave? I know we met Burris Ewell way in the beginning when Scout started school, and we talked about the Ewells a little bit, but what's life like for them at home? Our next witness was Bob Ewell. Bob Ewell's testimony seems to be contradictory to almost everything. What things do we learn about how the assault happened? What do we learn about Mayella? What do we learn about Tom? As you're reading, see if you can think about those questions and answer in your study guides. And then one of the coolest things I think about our book is when Atticus asks Bob to write his name. Why does Atticus ask Bob to write his name? What does the jury learn by this piece of information? Ask yourself these questions. Discuss it with your parents if you'd like. be ready for discussion when we get back. Your assignment is going to be chapters 18 through 19. The study guides are going to be available on RenWeb, just like this video will be. If you don't have a copy of the book, I know you can download a copy. Just Google To Kill a Mockingbird text. You can find anything you need to find. You could go to Audible and get an audio version of this particular version of To Kill a Mockingbird. You could watch the movie. The movie is really cool. I wouldn't rely that completely on for your discussions and your study guides, but you could. And the movie's available, I know, on Amazon Prime. I don't think it's available on Netflix. We'll continue to work through To Kill a Mockingbird. I will talk to you again on Friday. Hope you all are doing well.